What do you want? I don't have any.
Hello, everyone. My name is Katie, and I hope everybody's been having a lovely weekend. And I'm going to forewarn you, if I seem a little off today, it's because I'm tired. I had a tour, I did tour guiding today, and it went really well. I had a really great group of people, but do you know how many cruise ships were sitting inside port today? So, before I answer that question, um, and I'll be introducing Myra and Danny here directly. But before I answer that, when I got to work today, or when I walked out the door this morning, oh my God, there was so much fog everywhere. So when we got down to port, I had gotten a message from my boss saying that there was 3 cruise ships. When you got down to the port, you couldn't see any of them. You
Oh,
could hear
wow.
them blowing their foghorns because they all 3 of them were talking to each other with the foghorn. And
Right.
so it was really strange, but there was people everywhere. It
Wow.
was just, yeah. So probably between the 3 cruise ships, they outnumbered us by a lot. And about, let's see, when I had my Great Greenland tour, it started at 10, which means that we had to walk the long way around, which probably took about 20 minutes because we had to keep stopping. And then when we got to Great Greenland, I did my tour. And by the time I got out the door and then walked with the remaining ones that didn't take off ahead of me, um, we got back down to the port around 1:30, I think. And the
Wow.
fog was lifted. And they were all asking, we hope this fog doesn't stay around all day. I said, and I could already tell by the way the sky looked that it was already thinning up above our head, and I could feel a slight sea breeze. So when we
Mhm.
came out of Great Greenland, there was more, it wasn't like a heavy sea breeze, it was just enough, a little bit stronger, and it was blowing the fog out.
Wow.
And there was clear, beautiful skies. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. All right, let me see if I can get this off of here so I don't have that big browser in my face. All right. Um, Danny,
Yes.
you're on the hot seat.
Oh, Lord.
So tell them who you are and blah, blah, blah.
All right. Well, blah, blah, blah. First of all, welcome back to all of our regulars. Thank you so much for joining us again today. Today we are talking about mental health, but she wanted me to introduce myself, so let me do that first. I apologize for the whining in the background. I have a little puppy here that has figured out I have treats. She's very treat motivated. So anyway, my name is Danny and I am from the Sew Not an Expert channel, where we work on quilting projects and sewing projects, and we talk about all kinds of fun things and we have a great time. Right now I rotate my projects in and out. We never work on the same project 2 weeks in a row because I get bored very easily. So we constantly have 5 or 6 projects going at a time. I do have a puppy cam, which normally you can see on my channel, so you guys get to watch my puppies as they come in and out. But we play some games in chat and we have a great time making all kinds of projects. Today, I'm going to be finishing up some whips and UFOs that I have laying around. Some of these things I did not do on my channel. Some of them I did do on my channel. So if you're interested in seeing how these things were made, you can check out the playlist on my channel to check more on that. Um, Katie is I consider Katie one of my closest friends, and Myra has become a new close friend of mine. I truly enjoy this series of conversations that we have. I was skeptical at first. I will be honest. I was skeptical at first whether this was really going to be comfortable or not. I'd be quiet if it was really going to be comfortable or not. But I have truly
Don't worry
grown
about
into it
her.
myself. And I really look forward to this particular live stream set that we do. I mean, I look forward to all of my live streams, don't get me wrong, but this one in particular, I really look forward to because I feel like we wanted to create a safe space for people to talk to each other about things, and I really feel like that we've done that. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you have a great time while you're here with us and you feel like you're in a safe space.
Yep, it will always be safe here, regardless of what you talk about. So, yeah. Now I'm going to introduce Myra, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to be talking about tonight. or today. Sorry.
Be quiet.
Go ahead, Myra.
Hi, I'm Myra. I happen to be a licensed clinical social worker, so I am actually a professional mental health therapist, counselor, whatever. I am not here in that capacity today. Hang on just one second. Babe, I can't get Zoom loaded onto your computer.
Sorry,
So can you try to figure it out for me?
but I don't know anything about Zoom.
Okay, well, we're live, so love you. Bye-bye. No, I couldn't get mine to work. Hello, yeah. This is why I don't have a channel or a station or whatever it is. Yeah. So thanks, hon. I couldn't remember my password because it's been a month since I've been home and didn't take my computer. So I'm on Zoom on my phone, which means I don't have the chat. And I can't, well, maybe I can pull up other stuff. But anyway, so I realized I was going to use my husband's phone and I realized, hey, he has a computer and he knows his password. And so he gave it to me, but now I can't get Zoom download onto his computer. So I'll just go to the website that we're going to reference today. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. And if other people have done the research, and have it out there in printed form, especially if they are a government entity like SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration, which is a nonpartisan, non-political government agency that just deals with mental health issues. And Katie was gracious and kind and put a website in our chat. So the topic today is going to be, we're going to start off with the topic of back to school. Back to school brings a lot of different feelings. If you're an empty nester for the very first time, it brings feelings of what am I going to do on Friday night? If you still have children or grandchildren in your home that you're the primary caregiver for, it's like, do we have the right clothes? Are they going to eat lunch? Do I have money for lunch? Just, and then these children may or may not come to you, whether they're grandchildren, niece, nephews, people you might mentor. They might come to you with issues of bullying or self-esteem issues, or goodness gracious, there's just a plethora of stressors that come with school starting. And I thought, well, that's what time of year it is. And while I don't have any of that angst, having no children actively in my home, but I do have grandchildren still in the school system. I have 3 and I have a 5-year-old being homeschooled. And then I have the 3 others are in high school, public high school. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to do today. If you have a mental health question that veers off from topic, that's okay. That's why we're here. I will not do therapy. I also am a human being that suffers from anxiety and maybe a little depression, but I'm on meds and I take them appropriately. I've been on them faithfully, and so I'm doing very, very well.
Can you hang
But
on a minute?
sure.
Go ahead. I'll go look and then if I find there's a problem, I'll let you know. Okay. Keep
Okay.
going. Sorry.
Okay. But I understand from the consumer side about mental health issues and panic attacks and other things. Yeah, so those of you that have been on the channel before, you'll know how it goes. And those of you that are new, just know that nothing is off limits, absolutely nothing. Please know that anything said in here, as far as I'm concerned, will be kept confidential because this is a public, quasi-public forum. I can't guarantee your confidentiality, but
Yeah.
I would appreciate it if everyone would pretend that this is like Vegas, what's said here stays here. If you tell me that you are thinking of harming yourself or harming others, I am a mandated reporter, whether I'm in my personal life like I am right now, or whether I'm in a counseling session. I'm always a mandated reporter. I was at Disney this weekend, and I came so close to calling security on a male person that was yanking a child around. But I followed them for a while, and it settled down. So I just, let it go. But I was watching. So yeah.
Okay, Robin, I thought something was technical wrong. I think it's been resolved. Go. Okay. So I've been sharing a link in the chat, and Myra's I had asked Myra to take the lead on this discussion because she knows more about it than I do. And so if you have any comments while she's talking, and because we're going to be holding another conversation like we've been doing every month, and if you have something you want to add to it, please put it in the channel, because I will find a spot to interrupt and read what you have to say. Myra, I have an idea. You still have Bill's laptop?
Yes, I'm going to the SAMHSA.
Yeah, and the other thing you can do is go to YouTube and find my live, and you can at least see the chat that way.
Well, then I won't have the SAMHSA thing up, I don't think.
You have two browser tabs. You can do that. Haven't you noticed I have a zillion on mine open all the time?
Okay, so do I go to web browser or do I go to Edge?
Does he use Chrome or, well, Edge is one browser. I don't use Edge. Does he have Google Chrome on there?
I don't think so.
So then use Google Edge, and you can actually have more than one browser up on that one, meaning tabs.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
you can move back and forth between the two. Or what you can do is, when you find the live chat, you can pop out the chat itself. And if you don't know how to do that, I'll walk you through that. And by popping it out, you can shrink the other part of the browser that has what you're going to talk about. And you can have the browser or the chat on the other side, and you can see both at the same time. Everybody's saying hi. And while you're doing that, let me say hello to everybody in the chat. Robin Marie was here first in the chat, and she's putting a hurting on everyone else. Congratulations on that. Hey, Judy Smith. Hello, Muriel. Hello, Donnelly. Good to see you. Let's see who else is in here. There is yeah, okay. Robin was making, Robin says making dinner, spice baked chicken, rice, and green beans made by her. Robin, this, oh, okay, wait. Donnelly says a Mitch, which I don't know exactly what that stands for. Mitch, it needed one for those searching, needing any word to positive. Great jobs, lady. Okay, great. So a mention. Robin says, I think, yeah, skip that one because we already resolved that problem. Donnelly says, I say if you listen to tools you're given, it's up to you to do the work using those tools. Have to soul search yourself. Yeah. Okay, we're caught up. Okay. Did you figure it out, Myra? Or do you need more help?
Okay, so I have the live. I had the chat. I don't know what happened to it.
Look on your taskbar and see if you see it. And if you don't see it, run your mouse over the top of Edge, and it should show the second screen.
Y'all, I'm sorry.
No. We all have tech problems, right, Danny?
Oh my gosh, I had tech problems earlier today, honey. Don't you worry about
So
it.
it's
No,
okay. Just relax.
it would not be my channel if I didn't have tech problems.
All right. It's all good. I'm not freaking out about it, so you relax.
No,
okay.
No.
Because we love you.
I'm excited I get to use my new hand sewing needles. I just bought a whole bunch of them. I get to try and use them. I apologize.
hello,
I had to get up like 3
welcome,
times. I kept forgetting things.
and people are sliding in anyway, so it's okay. Hello, Jennifer. Well, no, that's not Jennifer. That's Alex. Hi, Alex. I'll get these names straight one of these days. You're okay, Sissy. It's all good.
Yeah, I just am trying to figure out where the chat, oh, there's the chat. Okay.
Yeah, and if you pop it out, what you can do is shrink one browser or shrink both
You
of
be
the pieces
quiet.
and
How
plant
do
them.
I pop it out?
Okay, up at the top, do you see where it says on the right top, do you see where it says, uh-oh, hang on, let me put, yeah, hang on a minute, because I need to be seeing what you're seeing. Hold on. Okay. Up at the top of the chat screen, do you see where it says top chat? On the left top?
Yes.
And on the right, do you see those 4 little dots? Right next to the X?
Hang on, I hit top chat. I shouldn't have done that.
No, it's okay. You can when you pop that out, click back on that live chat or the top chat and set it to live chat. But just let's get you popped out first. Do you see the 4 dots?
No, it went away.
Did you accidentally close the chat?
Probably.
Okay, go back to your browser where it was at, because it'll be sitting back in there again.
Okay.
And let me know when you see the chat.
Okay, I've got chat. I
All right.
see.
Up at the top right corner next to the X, do you see those 4 little dots?
Well,
On
it's
the
3. It's 3
3.
on mine, and it's an ellipsis. Yes.
Okay, click on that.
Okay.
And there's a list of things. Scroll down until you see where it says pop out chat.
Right.
Click on that.
Left click.
Just, yeah, left click. Yeah. Now you're going to see the screen pop out of that.
Yes, except for your poll is taking up the majority of mine. Oh, there it.
Just hang in there. Now, what I need you to do is go up to the very top of your browser. And up there where you see the X, the square, and the little hyphen, click on the hyphen to minimize your browser itself. And that'll leave the pop out sitting on your desktop.
Yes, it did.
Okay, when you do that, now you can realign that with the Zoom that you and me are in, and you'll also be able to just click on the browser, and whenever you're not watching the chat, just bring the browser up that has the link for what we're talking about, and then you can minimize it when you're done talking about some portion of that, and the chat will still sit there on your desktop where you can see it. Okay?
So I have to open a second browser.
Yeah, so that you can, yeah, a second browser or a second tab, depending on which is easiest for you. Hey, thanks to A, welcome. Hey, honey. Guess who's here? Nikolai. He's still stuck at Nuke. And then put your link in for what we're going to be discussing tonight. Hey, baby, how are you doing?
I'd be quiet.
Yeah, your dog is fine. We can barely hear her, but I hear that noise.
She'll just get louder.
I know. I'll have one underneath the desk doing that soon because she'll be like, "You didn't FEED me yet."
Oh, well, see, I had a live stream earlier this morning because I do live streams on Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Nothing like a shameless plug, right?
Yeah.
So I did a live stream this morning and I have my puppy cam on, so I keep snacks in here. And so she's looking for those snacks.
Yeah, Nora will be making some stink soon enough.
Yeah, she's looking for those snacks.
She was upset because I was gone too long. Oh my God.
Yeah, they get angry.
She spent an hour complaining.
So Wonderful humans. I feel like I'm ready to go.
All right,
All
go.
right.
Yay. All right. Let me say hello to the ones that just walked in real quick.
Please.
We have Felicia, who just came in. Alex, who is living and crafting with MS. We also have my honey in here. Hello, honey. Did I mention Felicia already? Yes, I did. Hello, Maggie B. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Face the Ace. I don't know your first name. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, though. And yeah, now we're caught up. Go for it, sissy.
All right, so I kind of need to know what route y'all want me to go with this back to school angst, and could you please in the chat let me know if back to school is an issue for you because you have children, and if so, what ages? Like throw in I currently have 4 homeschoolers and their ages, or I currently have a 5th grader, a 2nd grader, and whatever, or I'm a grandparent actively involved or not involved, just here for the fun or whatever. So that, because I don't even know which way we want to begin.
That makes good sense.
And this really should be led by you all.
I know, but like
For
I said,
sure.
I'm letting you have the lead on this because you know more about it than I do.
Well, I can tell you from my own experience, I have 4 girls, all of which have well, 3 of which have officially no, sorry, I have 5 girls, 4 of which have officially graduated from college. And I can tell you as a college mom, the amount of anxiety that goes along with that when they go away to college is substantial. And not just from my perspective, but also from their perspective as well. So it's not just on one end or the other. My dogs are barking like crazy. So I feel for any of those parents going through that particular situation right now. What is going on? I feel for that. I understand that. I have that same experience level there. Now, lucky for me, I don't have that situation this year. Our 5th daughter is college age, but has decided that college just really isn't for her, and that's okay. It's not for everyone. There's
No.
nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's absolutely acceptable for her to say it's just not for me. That's totally fine with us. So I don't have that this year, and I gotta tell you, I'm really not missing it. I'm not missing that stress and that level of anxiety at all.
For sure.
Let's see. Robin says she has none. Hi, Raven. Donnelly says my one only is 47. So there we go. So she's an empty nester like me. Raven says my son is leaving for freshman year in a week. So are we talking college or high school, Raven? And then Alex says back this time with copy in hand. So I've been an empty nester for a while now, but you know what grandma feels sad about? It's not getting to see all my grandkids go to the first day of school and see. Yeah, I do feel sad about it. And
So my kids are college age. I didn't mean to interrupt you. My kids are college age. I have one daughter that has started teaching 3rd grade this year. Congratulations to her, by the way. So I still made her send me a first day of school picture.
Yeah,
because she may not be going to school to be educated. Now she's the educator, but it's still a first day of school.
Yeah. Yeah. So we all have feelings at some point in our life that, especially when it revolves around kids, at least. And I have plenty of worries about all of my grandkids in the current atmosphere and the worry. First thing, I talked to Blaze yesterday, and Blaze told me that the first day of school, you know what they were doing? They were doing drills.
Active shooter drills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
isn't it sad that our school system has to do that? But at the same time, it's sad that they have to do that. but I'm also grateful that they're prepared for it.
Yeah, so I remember when I was going to high school, we had bomb threat drills, and I'm like, bomb threats? But someone would always call and make a fake, fake whatever you want to call it, and
Because they
turn
closed
school
all the
inside
schools.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get out of school. Yeah. It
You know?
wasn't a federal offense back then, I don't think. But
Um,
for me, it was earthquake drills because, I went to school 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. You may not know, I was in Anchorage, Alaska. So for us, it was earthquake drills. But, every child has something that is going to impact them. And the key to all of it is have the parents helped them build up resiliency. That's, that word. I went to college and learned that word, but I always said gumption. Do you have gumption? Well, it's resiliency is what it is. And how do you teach resiliency? And that's, you model it by not freaking out over things. And if that isn't your personality, if you're a freaker outer, as some people just naturally are, then hopefully they have other role models that they can get what they need from. And usually kids do, because innately humans are resilient. It's really beautiful how we're made that way, that we are. So what I'm seeing here is we do have the grandma that drops off kids and picks them up. So when you pick them up, as far as the kids, have you established a routine of letting them talk out their day? I don't know if you have them for a little bit of time after school. I've never had that privilege because I've never lived around any of my grandchildren. I always wanted that. I always wanted to be able to do that. And maybe in the years ahead with my 5-year-old, since we're planning on moving back home near him in the next year or so, maybe I'll have that privilege as he grows up and grows older. But thus far, I've not had it. But I always thought that I'd be that grandma that they could tell their secrets to, and we'd have time to talk and decompress, that I'd be a safe space.
Robin
So
says her 36, 37, and 38. Just putting that through there real quick. Donnelly says she has one granddaughter, 15, interested with horses as her grandma. Who knows, maybe new thoroughbred training will come up.
awesome.
Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. She's from Prep for Eternity Homestead. Robin says, we were doing drills in elementary school in Davie, Florida. Donnelly says, Davie is why I came to Florida, got hired by a barn, contracted 2 years to the racetrack. Huckles something. I don't know what that is. Rodeo circuit for South Florida, right behind hitting post rest. Then Maggie says, yes, I asked them what they did and what they like. And Alex says, I have 2 daughters. One is 24 and one is 21 in December. I have a granddaughter that will be 4 this year, and her sister would have been 2 this year. Sadly, she was born sleeping. Alex says, I am lucky. One lives with me, and the older daughter who has my granddaughter lives 4 blocks from me. Okay. I had brought up Blaze since we're talking about it. I asked Blaze about his week. Called him on Friday afternoon, and I asked him what he thought about the week, and he was the one that told me on the very first day of school they were doing drills.
Yeah.
Did he sound concerned or anxious about that, or was it just, this is what we did?
I don't think he was apprehensive about it, but he didn't much care for it either.
Well, it took time out from other things they could have been doing that might have been fun.
Yeah. But I don't think he was worried about, he's been a little trooper. We both know that.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, he's been a real trooper with everything they've been through. He's 9 now, and he sounded so mature when I was talking to him Friday. and he seemed like he was okay with it, but he didn't much like doing it, I think is what it was.
Right. Maggie, I really like how you commented that you asked them, what they liked and how was their day, open-ended questions instead of yes and no.
Yeah.
So many times we can get caught up in the, you know, did you have a good day? Yes, silence, rather than what did you do today that you liked? So then they have to expound and talk to you, and it's easier to do those closed-ended questions and just let it drop, but that's not going to establish the rapport and gain their confidence to talk to you, so that when something really does come up, um,
Did you see Alex's comment? She says, I am scared for my granddaughter when she starts school next year. Can you share with us what you're scared about? It's okay. Remember, this is a safe place.
As long as you're comfortable sharing, yes, of course.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you don't want to say, that's okay too.
I hate hand sewing, so sorry about like not paying attention right now. I absolutely loathe hand sewing, so I'm just trying to get it done and over with.
Donnelly's, yeah, I also asked about something else too that was kind of off. Yeah. Because we have something brewing in the tropics. This looks like it's going to be nasty. Did you see it, Myra?
Oh yeah. Are you talking about Erin or a new one?
Yeah, Erin, she's big.
Oh, Erin's already Cat 5, but gratefully, thankfully, she's going up the coast and isn't going directly over any landmass.
Yeah, she's pretty
At this
darn
time.
big.
Yeah.
Because of how schools are now and all the shootings, I figured that was the reason. So, Myra, how can you help? What can we help her do to kind of, yeah? Because I have the same fear about my grandkids.
Absolutely hear that. So
Bed.
what?
I'm
Oh,
talking
she's talking to the dog.
Oh, I was like, what?
I'm telling her.
I did the same thing too. I'm like,
Yes,
No.
ma'am.
Now it's Miss Voice Box down here. Sorry.
Yes.
Took me a second too. I was like, all right, nap time. All right.
So we can help our grandkids differentiate between, and even when they're as young as 4, between how do I say this? Perceived fear that doesn't have a probability of happening, and I mean, it is, kids won't have a fear unless you at that age basically expose them to the fear. So hopefully the teachers have trained them, have been trained in these, drills, and I hope they're not calling them active shooter. I hope they're calling them anything but, like, stranger on campus, or, something a little less in their face, especially for young ones. But
yeah,
older, they can understand, but the younger ones, may or may not. So validate that their concerns are real. Their concerns have value, but reiterate the policies of the school. Find out what the school policies are. Are they all do they have a closet to go into? Are they going to go away from the windows? The main thing is to validate listening to the teacher or the para that's in the room.
Yeah.
And obeying her the first time without question. And if
Yep.
they say, keep your head down, keep your head down. Don't pop up looking around. Keep your head down. Now that's hard to do. I mean, we all want to see what's going on, and especially little bitty ones. You know?
And the fear of the unknown is a real thing with the little ones too. I mean, unless they have if you stay calm, then they'll stay calm as well. If you panic, then they panic because they're taking their cues from you.
Right.
Let me interject a question here. Should parents actually talk about school shootings to their children?
I think they should, but I'm a reality therapist, and I feel like any child, especially in a public school, they're going to see fights. They're going to see and hear things that they might not in their own home. They're going to be exposed to life.
Yeah. Because I'm curious I guess I'm a little curious. I don't think my parents ever talked to me about why we have fire drills at school. There was never a discussion at home, and I know that school shootings are not in the same ranking of fires or bomb threats, but when we were going through bomb threats in middle school and high school, because they actually happened, the threats, my parents never discussed any of that with us girls, or my brother for that matter. So that's why I asked that question.
Oh, Raven, you mentioned Sandy Hook. That's the one in Colorado, right?
No, I think that's isn't that up north in one of the eastern states?
I don't, unfortunately, I try not to follow too much with those because I feel like they add more fear.
Sandy Hook happened, over 10 years ago, right, Myra?
Do you remember the one in Colorado? Columbine,
that was the first one, yeah.
My sister
at a private school, if I remember right.
My sister was actually a family nurse practitioner in the Air Force. And one of those shooters, one of the children who did the shooting, was actually a family that she served.
Wow.
And Sandy Hook was in Middleton, New Jersey.
Right. It was later.
Yeah. I can't remember what the order was, but I think Columbine happened.
Was one of the first one of the first.
Columbine was one of the first, advertised ones, yeah. Or media frenzied ones, yeah.
And
that's interesting, Raven. Raven says, I was in school when that happened. We never did drills for shooters even after that. Did your parents sit down and talk to you about Columbine, Raven?
I think that, and this is just my own personal opinion, I can't speak for any school district or anything else, but I feel like after Columbine, it was kind of like everybody thought it was a one and done thing. Like this was an isolated incident. It will never happen again. There's no need for us to prepare for it. But then as more and more of them started happening, that's when the school districts and the parents and everyone started getting involved and started to say, hey, whoa, wait a minute. We should have something in place to keep our children safe. And so that's why a lot more schools started doing things. I liked, Myra, what you said before about, if a parent is concerned about it or a student is concerned about it, it's important that you get with that school or that school district and understand what their plan is before you discuss it with the child, just so that you both can be on that same page. It's supposed to be a team effort. You're supposed to be working together with the schools and things like that. Now, if your school district doesn't have a plan, well, then you need to get involved with those parent conferences and those school district conferences to try and get a plan. I know there's still a lot of really small school districts out there that just don't think it's important or it's not part of their budget or whatever their reasoning is. If that is your school and you disagree with that, then you need to get involved. And
Or
you need to
maybe
get
it's
involved and you need to voice that.
a private school that has the
Mhm.
NIMBY attitude, not in my backyard. We're a private Christian school, you know,
Mhm.
or we're a private Islamic school, or we're whatever. We're a
Right.
private school, and that's not going to happen to us because we know everybody. And well, you know, in this day and age,
Well,
anything
Sandy
can
knows
happen to
that.
anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, I agree.
Now, Donnelly
I
asked a
agree.
really Donnelly has a question for you. She says, awareness, knowledge is the best thing to know. If not knowing this day and age, would you think it would be worse not knowing, just asking?
not knowing about what, that there have been shootings or how to respond to them.
Yeah, let me reread it. Awareness, knowledge is the best thing to know. If not knowing this day and age, would you think it would be worse not knowing, just asking?
Yes,
Yes,
I want to know what she means by not knowing. Like, are you saying if the media didn't cover these stories and they weren't part of the everyday conversation? Is that what you mean by not knowing? Or are you thinking that the schools shouldn't be prepared for those things? I just want clarification on what you mean by that.
Now, Donnelly, can you expand on that, please? Raven says, she answered my question. She said, no, there was no talk about it then. And then Fern King says, I was in high school in the late 70s. We had a lot of bomb scares. I lived in a rural area, not normal for that area. And Donnelly says, yes, the dangers of guns and no plans in place if it happens. That was her answer to you, Myra. And to
Okay.
Danny.
The dangers of guns, no plan in place if it happens. Okay.
well,
I mean, I guess it. Go ahead, Myra. Sorry.
no, go ahead, please.
My machine is being stupid at the moment. It does not like the bulk that I'm trying to go through. Um, the dangers of guns and no plan in place if it happens. Yes, no school knowledge dangers. I think that some school districts may have that mentality that if we don't talk about it, it's kind of like the drug program, the DARE program. If we don't talk about it, then it won't happen because no one's talking about it. So it's not in anybody's realm of thinking. They're not going to think to do those things because no one's talking about it. So I do know that there are school districts and there are parents out there that have that mentality. And I'm not saying that that is wrong. I'm not a professional, so I don't know if that is psychologically, if that is a correct way of thinking or an incorrect way of thinking. From my perspective, I would rather be prepared for things because I am of the mindset that if you're prepared for something, it's never going to happen. It's the things that you're not prepared for in life that always hit you the hardest. So if you're prepared for these things, and I don't say that with like this level of you have to have all this anxiety over it, you have to be thinking about it all the time, but just having a plan. Just like if there was a fire in your home, you should have a plan. What do you do in the event of a fire?
Where do
You
you
call
go?
911, you grab your animals, you grab your people, you walk out the door. As long as you know that plan, you'll never need it.
You meet
That's
under the
just
tree in the two neighbors down yard, you know?
right, exactly. And that's just the way I've always lived my life is that if I have this plan in place, I don't need to think about it all the time. I just need to have it. I need to have that plan. I need to know what it is. My family needs to know what that plan is. And as long as I have a plan, I don't need to talk about it all the time. I don't need to bring it up every dinner table because we know what that plan is. Okay. And we're never going to need it because we have one. Now with the schools, because students are coming in and out and they're constantly, they want to reintroduce the plan or these programs to kids every year just as a reminder, but they're not doing it every week. They're not doing it every month. They're not doing it every day. It's once a year, maybe twice a year, just to remind them of what happens. They do fire drills all the time. Classrooms do fire drills. here in the Midwest, we do tornado drills because that's a
Right.
real thing here. So we do fire drills, we do tornado drills. To me, it's the same thing. I don't necessarily know. I agree with you, Myra. I don't think they should call it active shooter. I think it should be, I think it's more like intruder in the building, or it's a, I forget what they call it here in my school district. It's not called active shooter. It's something like, I don't remember what they call it, but I know it's not active shooter, but I agree with that because that automatically brings fear. I mean,
Right.
just instantly brings fear.
Yeah.
Whereas a different word, a different way of wording it will help bring a more level-headed thinking to things that will help children remember what that plan is. So to answer Donnelly's question, I if you live in a school district that has that type of a mentality, then I encourage you to get involved with that school district to whatever capacity you can and try and change their way of thinking. Whether you're successful or at that or not, I can't tell you that, but you do have the choice to stay in that school district. Many states will allow you to change school districts if you don't believe in what they're teaching your children. It's a little bit of a lengthy process. I will admit that. Or you can simply move into another district, but you do have the right to move your children to a different district if that district is not performing well or they're not teaching things the way that you believe they should. Now, again, that's it's a long process because my mom actually went through that process with my sister when we were younger. And so that's how I'm familiar with it. It is a very lengthy process to go through it. And it's not something that you can just say, oh, my religious beliefs, or I don't like this teacher, or I don't like this principal. It has to be much bigger than that. But if you're fearing for your child's safety, that's a big one. If you fear for your child's safety in that school because they don't practice these things, there should be no issue with you moving to a different district. So if your school district doesn't do these things and you believe that they should, I encourage you to do something about it because you can and you do have the right to do that.
Myra,
I agree absolutely that I am a mental health professional. Now that I'm 66, I'm going to say this very humbly, but I am an expert in some of these areas. And in this area,
Oh,
I
100%.
am. And I'm going to say it's no different than asking about suicide will not bring on suicidal thoughts.
Right.
So asking about these things with, active shooter or danger drills or whatever, intruder drills, however you want to name it. And I don't know what any of the names are, but and adults need to know these. And a perfect example is the Pulse nightclub shooting. Those adults didn't know what to do when gunshots started going out. They all just started screaming and running in circles. They didn't know to hunker down or find an exit or find a closet or whatever. It was really, really sad because well, anyway, and for those of you that don't know, I was one of the first mental health professionals from the VA at the Beardall Center, where the families were congregating after the shooting that day, and I did. I was one of the mental health professionals that went with the law enforcement to do death notifications to the families, and so I do have some knowledge of these things. So we're talking. I'm going to switch us up a little bit here.
There is some comments in the chat we should probably cover before you finish this line of talking. Donnelly says, yes, exactly. I was on a posse sheriff's department and we ran DARE programs, and parents, some caught this, mainly ones who were not on the best side. So I asked that. And then she said, let's see, Fern King says, who remembers in the 60s getting under your desk for a drill during the Cold War?
Yes.
I remember. And I remember discussion of the Cold War, but I didn't even know what that was. And then Alex says, when I was in junior high, we were put in lockdown because of a fight. Now that I experienced in high school and middle school about lockdowns,
Mhm.
a fight. And it says, because of a fight that happened earlier in the day, and at the end of the day, the KKK showed up and put burning, oh my gosh, in
Oh
the school.
my.
So that had to cause trauma. Uh, Alex says, my mom and dad answered all my questions, which is a good thing. And then Donnelly says, if you can save just a few, it's more than if we did not try. We're in a big city here. Hey, Christina. She says, I remember getting under my desk for drills. Donnelly says, you just go, girl. We still can rock it. And then Alex says, when we went back to school, they acted like nothing happened. Donnelly says, when confusion, no one hears, chaos, and then danger. Yeah, that's so true. And hi, Laura. Okay, go ahead.
So, Laura, to catch you up, the topic originally was about children going back to school and how to take care of our children or grandchildren and their mental health in school in this day and age of active shooter or danger drills or whatever. And we kind of went through that, and I'd like to kind of change to a little different thing that is going to affect everyone.
Okay.
And that's what happens if you have a death in your, but first I want to go back to, they acted like nothing happened when you went back to school. And I believe that in this day and age, they don't do that anymore. They get counselors on site. They tell kids they can go, they tell the teachers they can go speak to people. There's much more support nowadays. And I hope that that's in all schools. I think it's in the majority. So that segues into what happens if there's a death in the school. I want to give an example. When my youngest, who is now 37, when she started her first day of senior year, she had a best friend. She had two best friends. They were the Three Musketeers, and she chose to go to a different school for her high school. So on the weekends, they still were buddy buddy, but during the school year, they weren't together, you know? So I'm going to call this girl Anna and Betty, not their real names. So Anna and Betty were my Katie's best friends in another school. And so on the first day of school, Anna said, I'm going off campus for lunch. Betty, do you want to come? Betty decided not to go because she wanted to be with her boyfriend. Another friend that they had, I'm going to call her Mary. Mary said, well, I'll go with you. So Mary was in the front passenger seat where my Katie would have been had she been with them. Mary was in the front seat. Anna was driving. They got their lunch. They were coming back on campus. Anna made a left turn and did not, for some reason, see the SUV that T-boned Mary's side of the car. Mary died instantly on impact. Anna didn't know it when she arrived at the emergency room. She didn't know it. And so this situation reverberated through the whole county. Even though we had 3 high schools in our county isn't so darn big that all of these young people were known to other people in other schools. So Katie and I were involved because Anna was the driver, and Katie knew Mary, not well, but she did know her. And so the most beautiful thing that came out of that was they did have counselors on site. They did have people around. And this was, my daughter's 37. This was, what is she gonna, she like her tenure, 20-year high school reunion is coming up or something like that. I don't know. But, this was quite a while ago, and it's only gotten better as time has gone on. And
Yeah.
I know I've volunteered numerous times to go as a mental health professional, even when I was working for the VA. And so it wasn't my agency sending me. I've taken my own personal leave and volunteered to be on site to help these kids out, or their parents, or whatever, to talk
Amazing.
to them. And those are hard conversations, especially if you're not if you're in a secular public school, because you've got to be sensitive to their cultural beliefs and their spiritual beliefs, and so, but those things are going to continue to happen outside of active shooter or bombs. Those things are
Right.
going to continue to happen, because just like tornadoes can take a life, or these floods, oh my word, these floods with these kids at that camp.
Oh, in Texas, yeah.
I cried for a few days, and I still am praying for those families. That, I don't know
Yeah.
anybody in Texas that was
I
personally involved.
do. Unfortunately, I know a family
I'm
that was
so
affected
sorry.
by that.
I wish they would have had mental health professionals at the schools when 9/11 happened, because my youngest one was having difficulty with what had happened. Go ahead, Myra.
It's okay. I'm reading. So,
I be quiet.
so, it's
Ivy
a
says hello, everyone.
it's a hard thing to do, to have never spoken to your child about death, um, especially if they've not lost a grandparent or an aunt or a great grandmother, or they've never been exposed. And then
Yeah.
when they're over 12, all of a sudden, they've never lost an animal, and now all of a sudden they're dealing with a death situation. And I'm a big proponent, much to the chagrin of my children, because they wish I wasn't so outspoken, but I'm a big proponent of life and death are part of the cycle of life.
Amen.
And I'm not going to bring my faith base or my culture into this, but I kind of am, very, very gently. But I believe that it's a cycle, whether you believe it ends when you die or whether you believe there's something more. It's still a cycle. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so when I will say, what my kids don't like is I love cemeteries. And I took my 4 grandchildren to a cemetery in Marianna, Florida, because they have Confederate soldiers in there, and the things written on the tombstones, it's just history to me. But it freaked my ex-son-in-law out, and he got very angry with me and wouldn't let me have the kids by myself for about a year after that situation, because it freaked the kids out. But they didn't speak to me, and I didn't realize it, and so I couldn't mediate the situation or mitigate the situation, because they didn't talk to me. And then
Right.
he wouldn't let me around them to mitigate it, to help them understand. And
Right.
so it actually only bothered the 2 younger ones, but whatever. Anyway, but humans need to realize that we're born, we live, we die. Unfortunately, some of us have loved ones born sleeping. Some of us lose loved ones,
Yeah.
earlier than the cycle of life one would think.
Right.
So, what do you all think about this? And I
Now,
don't know, my chat isn't scrolling. Is nobody talking?
set your, oh goodness, you see up in the top left-hand corner where it says top chat?
Yes.
Click on that little arrow
Okay.
and click on live chat.
Ah.
You caught up with what's being said in the chat.
Oh, okay.
It's a little
Lovely.
bit-
Thank
There is a
you.
little bit of slow down here too. I'm going to back up because Flicky said something that, okay, hold on. Flicky said that, see, for me, I'm in one of the largest school districts in the nation. It's at the single school only. What's at the single school only, Flicky? Can you expand on what? Because I can't find where you might have said something before that. Let me see here. Alex says, yes, they handle things better now when something happens. Felicia says, amen. Yes, it is, Myra. And Donald said, growing up all my life around horses and farm animals, a young kid learns hard lessons about the cycle of life. Yeah, you know, that's interesting because we're talking about death. I cannot go in a cemetery. And it's not that I don't accept death. That's not the problem. It makes me uncomfortable.
I'm weird. I admit it.
I
Oh,
don't.
no, you're not.
And the other thing that I
My
don't
whole
like,
family's like that. But
the other
I'm
thing
like
that
Katie. I don't like them.
the other thing I don't like to do is do funerals. When my father died, that was the last time I wanted to go to any funeral. And I'm trying to think. I went to my mother's funeral, but outside of that, any other close friends or relatives or whatever, I did not go to their funerals because I cannot handle it. It's too, yeah, it's too much.
Some people can't. I will go because sometimes it's the right thing to do for the other people that are involved, not necessarily for the deceased, but for the other people involved. I will go with because I feel like it's an obligation at that point, but I don't prefer to go.
You know, when the kids and I lost their dad, I think because of my phobia of I think my I don't even know what to call it, of not wanting to even go to one. I think that I handled his funeral, if you want to call it that, in a way different way. I had him cremated and we went to the National Cemetery and we had a small service. And that didn't bother me as much as having a big, huge funeral where people were looking at my father in his casket. That really bothered me. Okay, we got more discussion going on here. Alex says, I think it's good to talk about death that way. They are not scared when it does happen. Yeah, I had to talk to my kids. One of the biggest experiences, and Myra will verify this, is when my husband passed away. It was in 2006, and then in November of 2006, we found out my mother had a brain tumor, and I was just getting a relationship back with my mother. And she passed away less than a week from what it would have been a year of my first husband having been gone. And one of the things, even my kids would come to me and say, Mom, why is death following us around? They had as much trouble with it as I did. But I didn't have an answer because I didn't have a support system like what Myra's talking about. There's more here in the chat. She says, Rita says, I do not go to funerals, but love going to cemeteries, especially the older ones. Felicia says, amen. That's what the Bible says, Myra. We are all born to die. Yeah. Flicky says, I went to a lot of funerals from 17 to 27 until medical care caught up. Fern King says, I am weird. I love graveyards. I do the family tree. I get so much information, but it is sad. But it is so sad at funerals. And Flicky says, I grew up in an evil cult, ran at 17.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you mean that as a joke or if you're serious.
I think she's serious.
So you ran. Oh, Sorry. Go
So
ahead.
Well,
grateful.
good for you for having the courage to leave.
And have you ever watched the podcast Cults to Consciousness? It's one of my favorite things to watch.
I have not heard of that one, no.
Not heard of that. I don't know that I would watch it probably.
It's wonderful, I think, but I don't want to offend anyone. But anyway, I could be a professional mourner. I could be paid to go to funerals and be the wailing person in the row, because and it not be put on, it not be theatrical in an act. I could because every human being had a mother and a father. They could have been my sister or my brother or my cousin, or, I mean, they're human. And the empath in me, yeah, I cry at Kleenex tissue commercials, I mean, so I could easily,
Oh,
be that person.
Yeah.
Blicky said
Oh,
you're seeing the chat too, right, Myra?
yeah.
Okay. If you want to comment on that song, yeah, I don't have to read it all because
She was serious.
yeah, I don't know what BLP means, but or SAER.
SA is a sexual abuser.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know some of these anagrams.
IBLP, it's a religious cult. I can't remember what it stands for. If you choose to share, you're welcome. But you don't have to, of course. You don't have to. But yes, I commend your courage to get out, and I'm glad that you were able to do that, because so many people aren't. And we don't realize in this day and age that there are still people in bondage. And I don't mean the good kind of fun kind of BDSM, if you're into that bondage. I'm talking about their free will has been taken from them, or they believe that it has, and that they have no choices. And that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart.
That is real. It's not something that's just not that you just see on television. That those things that you see on television came from real life stories.
So I just the thing with BDSM is it's supposed to be safe, sane, and consensual. So but being in a cult and believing and being told that you can't leave, that you must marry that SAer, or your second cousin, or your brother, half brother, or whatever, that's yeah, that's not okay. And I have no problem if people want to live, however they want to live, as long as it's consensual
I
with
agree.
everyone.
She gave what BLP means. I see it now. Institute of Basic Life Principles. I've never heard of that one.
No, but I'll be looking it up.
That makes two of us, because I've never heard of that one.
There's so many. So, sadly, there are so many.
Blicky says the families of 12 plus kids on TV were all involved in IBLP. Wow.
So you're talking about 19 kids and counting?
She said 12 plus kids. Oh, you must be looking something up. Sorry,
I'm
Susie.
not. I'm not looking anything up.
Oh, okay. As a vet tech, been around death too much, it doesn't bother me. Hunting and all that kind of stuff, that doesn't bother me, that kind of death. But when the human dies, it's a whole different thing for me. But I also think that the older I get, the less I want to see it, I think. but I'll have to tell you something after the live, Myra.
Okay.
Because
All right,
I
y'all.
don't know if I want to voice this on live or not, because some people will be like, what?
Well, then don't. If you don't know, then don't.
No, it's just okay, I'll put it out there and let's see how many are. I'm afraid of dying. How about that?
Oh, I think a lot of people have that fear.
I mean, I would rather live forever than I had to face the reality that I know I'm going to die. And lately I've been a bit fixated on that idea, to be honest.
Oh. Well,
And it's an uncomfortable subject for me because I don't know how to deal with the thoughts that I have about it.
we'll talk later, sis.
Okay.
We'll talk later.
Okay, because you're a little bit older than me, but you've known me a long time too. So
Okay. How much older am I than you? I'm 66. Come on, I'm not that much
3 years.
3
But
years.
3 years, yeah.
But
But
I've
You
lived a
both are
lot.
a little bit older than me.
Baby. All right,
You're
y'all,
the
I got
baby
something
here.
to show you. Those of you that know that I'm taking care of my 91-year-old mother every 3 weeks.
Yes.
I have decided, all right, y'all, I don't want my mama to die, but the honest truth is, from my faith base, if God doesn't blow that trumpet and come back, send Jesus back, probability is mama's going to die before I do. Okay, that's just, I'm a reality therapist, remember? So I bought this at a thrift store, and my sister has not wrapped her head around it. But can y'all see this? It's got a little net.
Oh, I love it.
I have a black and white dress. I may or may not put crinoline underneath it. It's a very 50s vibe.
I
What you
love
plan on wearing
it.
to the funeral?
And I'm wearing this to the funeral. Yes, I am. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Denise made a really well. Denise and Flicky. Denise says, "I'm afraid. I'm not. I'm afraid of." She says, "I'm afraid of how I die," and maybe that's what I. Maybe that's where I'm coming from with that. Maybe she says, "I know it's going to happen, but I don't want to suffer before it happens." That hits a mark. And then Flicky says, "I'm okay with death. Have a DNR or a DNI." I haven't done those, but I should. I don't know if they even have such a thing over here in Greenland.
Well, I'm with you, Denise. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to be conscious that I'm hurting. I have no problem dying, because for me, being absent from this body is being present with Christ. Now, whether that's immediate or whether that's, I don't know, because I've never died or spoken to anyone who's died. So I don't know. But I absolutely believe that being absent from the body is being present with Christ. And my children are all grown. And while I would love to see all my grandchildren grow up and get established in their lives really well and be around for greats, I'm ready to go right now. It's okay. I just don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt. I've hurt through chemo and radiation. I've hurt through breaking my back. I've hurt through the heartache of some family experiences. I don't want psychological pain. I don't want physical pain. I don't like to hurt.
Yeah.
So, and I get that. I get that. So
Maggie says amen. I believe the same. Felicia says amen. Jennifer says amen. Yeah, we're caught up. Okay. Felicia says that's nice. That's a nice hat. Many women wear that style hat to funerals.
well, I'm gonna wear it to Disney one day when we're sometimes we dress up and when we go to Disney. And I've worn a blue and white dress with a crinoline with a white little hat. And I'm gonna do my black and white one day and because it's just fun and
It's
people like
fun,
to see
yeah.
it. People like to see other people dressed up, and like I have on this shirt today, and I doubt you can tell it, but there's Cinderella all over it.
Ah, Cinderella's my favorite.
There's Cinderella and the pumpkin coach, but it's very benign. It's not in your face Disney. And I was wearing it, it's been washed since then, but I was wearing it a few days ago when we went to Disney. We go a lot. And I'd forgotten what I had on, and a lady went, "Oh, I love your shirt." And it was like, "Oh, I mean, that's really nice when people do that." So,
It is really nice.
yeah, I like to do that too. I like to, I'm not going to do it just to do it, but I love when I see something that's cute. I love to give out compliments.
Disney
So,
World, because she said
Disney World. I live in Florida. I live in Central Florida, an hour and 15 away from Disney. And even when we move back to the Panhandle, I'll only be 5.5 hours away from Disney, and we have a motorhome. So, and we have a camp membership. So, it will never be hard for us to continue our trips to Disney, and we will.
That's good.
That's one of our coping skills for the both of us. But Felicia, I'm glad you believe it as well. Well, I'm so sorry with your MS that you're hurting. I can imagine. I don't know, but I have a friend that has fibromyalgia, lupus, and MS, and yeah, it's hard, and people don't realize how hard it is. And I'm sorry that you're having to battle that and go through that, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're still with us. So if you, let's get back to our SAMHSA page.
Yeah.
This SAMHSA page, I don't need to reinvent the wheels and come up with resources for y'all when the government people have already done it. So on this SAMHSA page, they're talking about back to school and mental health, supporting our children for a successful year ahead. And they talk about the transition and support at the school, the role of educators. And then they have a list of resources. And I want to just read out to you some of the links that they have there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's parenting and caregiver and youth mental health resources. So mental health needs of young people is what it's talking about.
Okay.
When I told my sister I was doing this today, she was like, "Oh, you're only talking about kids? If you want to do one on caregiving, I'll come and sit in on it." It's like,
oh, wow. Yeah.
it's too close right now, although it's not. We can. And that's a whole new world, another world, and probably more appropriate for the majority of the
quiet.
people in this group. One of them is child and adolescent mental health concerns, signs and symptoms. And that's, I'm sure, a good one. Back to school resources for success. Talk, they hear you. Let's see, somebody just posted something. She keeps going. That's all she can do.
Jennifer said she used to live by the Alabama-Florida border. Enjoyed it there.
It is beautiful there, isn't it?
Yeah. And Al says she has myalgia and MS. And Flicky says I've got EDS and MS. Wow, there's more people.
What
I
is
know
EDS,
people with
please? I'm
MS.
sorry. What is EDS? No,
Oh,
what is EDS? I'm sorry, I'm not sure I know what that is.
EDS. I think I've heard that term before.
Yeah, I can't say that I have either.
Isn't it yeah, tell us, Flicky, because I don't
All
want
I
to be
can think is erectile dysfunction. Sorry.
I mean, maybe we don't
Not funny.
judge.
Not funny.
with the
Not
intestinal
funny.
tract, doesn't it?
I'm sorry, it wasn't funny. Because that's a real problem too. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
Oh, it is 100%. And I don't laugh because someone might have it. I simply laugh
Oh,
because of what you thought that might be
Oh,
it.
oh, my, oh, I should know what Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is because my granddaughter has been diagnosed with that. And my daughter, that has a genetic component to it. And my daughter thinks that she got it from me because my whole life I've been very, very limber. When I was 9 months pregnant, I could put the palms of my hands flat on the floor. Just had to spread my legs a little because I'm so short, but I've always been extremely limber. And so Marissa really thinks that, I have the gene, and that's where my granddaughter got it. I
Bye,
don't
be
know if that's
quiet.
true. I don't know if that's true, but yes, I have heard about that. And another one that people don't know a lot about is POTS, and that's postural orthostatic syndrome or something like that. It's you faint a lot, but it's way
Yeah.
more than that, way more
that's
than that.
what
So,
practice has.
so my precious
Yeah.
granddaughter has the EDS, the POTS, and um, uh, Tourette's.
Wow.
And through it all, she caught COVID and went from being one of the top in her class, graduating at 17 a year early, going into physics at the community college, to changing her major because she couldn't do math anymore. But praise God, it's 4 years down the road, and her math skills are coming back. And so she switched back to her physics major.
Good
But
for her.
yeah, yeah, yes.
I
Oh,
apologize for the whiny dog in the background if anybody hears her. She just
And
wants a
you
treat
don't
and
have
she's not
to,
getting any more.
sweetie. The dog is not that loud.
Fern, I'm sorry your youngest has POTS, and I'm sure it was uh, a road to walk down to have it adequately diagnosed. I know it's just been that like fibromyalgia, it's not an easy diagnosis to come by.
So let's take a 1 minute commercial break kind of because I want to put another poll question up. I put a poll up that said, what is the leading cause of disability worldwide? Notice worldwide. And option or A is heart disease, B is cancer, C is depression, and D is Alzheimer's. And 30% voted on heart disease, 7% cancer, 60% depression, and 3% Alzheimer's. The answer is C, depression. So can you imagine? That's worldwide, you guys.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Quickie says,
I don't know how many people of color we have in the chat, but back 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when I was getting my degree, the prevalence of depression in Black males was coming to the forefront of knowledge. And it was a very, very, very underserved population. It hasn't gotten a whole lot better, though it has gotten better. And I think I attribute a lot of that to awareness and celebrities that deal with mental health issues being courageous and open about it, especially people of color, whether it's our Black, brown, whatever community. Um, so and different cultures and different countries deal with mental health issues so differently. Fern, I'm glad that She finally got her diagnosis.
I'm trying to find the next question, so y'all keep on talking. Sorry. I'm trying to. Oh, I lost what I had.
I'm an honorary Mexican in name, but I'm about the color of mayonnaise. So I don't know who Gizlet is, but I hope we can get rid of Gizlet.
Got it.
Um,
I took care of that.
oh, thank you. So, yeah, whatever.
I
wanna
have that
see
on
the
my channel
puppy.
all the time.
Do you want to lift up the puppy so we can see him? Her?
She has finally decided to leave me.
Oh,
She's finally decided to leave me. Otherwise, I would have lifted her up. Yes. If you go over to my channel, you can catch pictures of her on my live streams on Sundays. So
okay. All right.
she makes an appearance every Sunday on my puppy cam. So, but yeah, she finally decided. Well, it's just about dinner time, so she's distracted now because Daddy's gonna take dinner out.
Who wants to help me moderate this channel tonight? I need one other person to moderate because I was overlooking for a question to ask on the poll and we had a visitor.
That's all right. I took care of the visitor.
Okay, gotcha.
I got it.
Okay.
I
'Cause
just happened to look over and saw it. Went, oh, I know you.
yeah, that name, yeah, I'm about to add that one name to my little ban list.
Oh, it's already. I already blocked it.
Okay, thank you.
I reported it and blocked it.
Yeah, because I've been reporting them too.
Yep. Yeah, I get a lot of those on my channel. That's why I had to turn on the subscriber requirement on my channel. And I also had to turn it on so that when you subscribe, you have to wait another 2 hours before you can comment. Because otherwise they would subscribe right away and then start commenting. But at the same time, I give them a little bit of kudos because they sure go through a whole heck of a lot of work to get my attention. So I give them a little bit of props that it takes them that long to get blocked.
This person will probably be back with another name.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought.
We call that game Whack-A-Troll on my channel.
It's funny that your coworker declared it. I had a coworker declare that I had a Jewish soul, which I thought was probably one of the highest honors anyone could bestow on me. And when I lived in Las Vegas, my dentist, I worked for a Mormon dentist, and his mother, who was an elder lady at the time, she thought that I was a Mormon person because I was very respectful, and I didn't cuss, and I talked about church, and she was like, "What ward do you attend?" And and I said I'm a Assemblies of God Christian. And kind of dropped it. I have many, many friends that are still in the Mormon. I'm going to use the word church loosely because I don't want to offend anyone by any stretch of the imagination. But anyway, so basically, I don't act like a nasty white woman. What? The poll came up.
Huh?
The poll came up and I can't see underneath.
If you
Yeah,
put
you
your
have to
mouse
vote.
over the top, all you do is click on the very top bar of it, and it should close. Not
Oh,
close,
okay.
but free.
Okay.
There. There's three little dots. You can click on it and it says close poll.
Okay. So I don't act like a nasty white woman, and Lord knows I'm fluent in Los Angeles Spanish and cuisine. That's great.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Flicky, I should have put all of the above. So listen up, you guys. I can, if you don't mind, I'll reset the poll and put all of the above as the number 4. Sorry, because I just realized I left something off. So I'm going to close or end it and start again. Sorry.
So while she's fixing it, I want you to know that there's a website called stopbullying.gov,
Ooh.
schoolsafety.gov. So SAMHSA's national helpline is service in English and Spanish for individuals and family members facing mental health and or substance use disorders. Findsupport.gov is designed for the general public to help identify available resources, explore unbiased information about various treatment options, and learn how to reach out to get the support they need for issues related to mental health, drugs, or alcohol. And then, of course, my personal favorite, 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Used to be 1-800-273-8255. Press 1 if you're calling about a veteran, but now it's 988. Press 1 if you're calling about a veteran. So, yeah. So did I show y'all my
Put it right in front of the camera, sweetie. Yeah, there you go.
my bottle cap?
Did you see what Flicky said?
No, the poll's up. Hang on. Let me vote, so maybe it'll go away. All right. What did she say? As a U.S. resident, I can't say I fully trust the government websites currently. Robin, bless your heart. Seriously, bless your heart. That is so not true, unless it is true, and then hopefully you've been delivered.
Yeah, I can't believe you just did that.
I did. I know you've been delivered, Robin. I've spoken to you enough that I know you've been delivered if it was true, but I don't believe it was ever true, because usually children before the age of accountability, in my belief system, couldn't be possessed, but maybe, I don't know. And I hear you, Flicky, about the government websites. I do, but SAMHSA is a righteous one. It really is. In this day and age and political climate, we do need to be careful. I mean, we have what is that dude? Is he director of health or something? The Kennedy dude that is
Yeah,
awful.
RFK.
I'm sorry, I said it. Yes, I said it. You know, I don't understand how we can have people in authority that's not their expertise. Except, you know, our president is the commander in chief, which I think is hilarious, because most of them some of them have never served. I won't say all of them, but some of the most recent ones have never served a day in the armed forces, yet they're commander in chief. Let's not go there. I'm sorry.
Alex says, thank you for doing these lives. I have been wanting to talk more about what I go through and mental health issues with chronic illness on my lives, but I was afraid. Here, you do not have to be afraid. And then Denise said, I have always hated Black folks being compared to something. I must be missing part of this conversation. Compared to what, Denise?
Y'all, I keep doing those DNA tests because I really want some sub-Saharan genes, DNA, and I don't have any. None.
I'm sorry, you don't get to. I met a really cool they're actually best friends, and they worked on one of the cruise ships today, and we were talking about DNA, and I had asked about the young man's accent because I couldn't place whether it was Jamaican or if it was South Africa. Come to find out, it's both. and he was talking about his ancestors and stuff. I said, this might surprise you. I have 1% of Congo and people of Bantus in my DNA. And he says, really? That's interesting. You know, I thought it was too.
Well, my sister has a different father than I do. And I'm here to tell you, she has 1% sub-Saharan African in her. And I am just so unhappy about that because, I'm purple. I have.
Smith. And thank you for coming.
I love that. I am purple. I love that.
Yeah, me too. She says, thank you for the conversation and info. I have to run now. Have a great day. And even you too, Judy. And then Flicky says, I may not love Newsom, but please, sir, give me all the shade. And then Denise says, white folks always used to make blacks feel lesser. Words are cheap. Also hate when percents are used instead of actual numbers. And then Alex says, I want to do a DNA just to see what I am because I am adopted. That's a great idea for you to do that, Alex. And Felicia says, I agree with Myra. If they don't need to be in charge, yeah.
Well then, I wasn't speaking specifics. I was just speaking in general that we've had quite a few in the last few presidents that, don't have a background, but, so yeah.
Okay.
How's the poll going?
Right now. Okay, so where's the question? Oh my God, I left the question. The question was, sorry guys, I told you at the beginning of the live, Katie might not be with it. The question was, what was the question?
Which of these symptoms can happen if you're depressed?
Yeah. And option A was not hungry. Option B was hungry all the time. Option C is always tired. And option 4 was all of the above. We have 10 votes. So 10% voted hungry all the time. The 90% voted all of the above. And that's correct. The last option was correct. Yeah, I know. I've lost somewhere there was part of this I missed out on you saying. So I'm going to have to backtrack. So keep on talking, Myra, while I go figure out what I missed.
Okay, Denise, I'm still trying to figure out, you've hated black folks being compared to white folks, I guess is what you're saying?
That's what I'm looking for because there's more of the conversation up above.
Yes, she says being compared to white folks, always used to make black feel less than, words are cheap, and hate when percents are used instead of actual numbers. And I have a son-in-law whose mother is black, father's white. I have an ex-son-in-law whose mother is Mexican and father is Filipino. I have a son by heart that I call him my son, and his parents were born in New Delhi, India. He was born in Washington, D.C. He's Indian, the country. And so I say I'm purple because I want to be purple because I don't want it to matter what we are. And with this day and age of ICE and people being picked up, I was speaking to my husband last night actually about my grandchildren who are only a fourth Hispanic and a fourth Filipino, but they don't look Caucasian at all. And so I said to him, I said, do you think they could ever get mistaken or be picked up? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, I
have the same thought about Thomas because Thomas doesn't look like usual white people look. He looks like he could pass as, a Latino or something else, even though we know
he's dark skinned, although
no, Thomas does have dark skin.
there are Latinos with whiter skin than mine.
Yeah, he's
So,
got dark skin now, and he has dark eyes and dark hair. And I'm like, well, what if someone mistaken him for that? What would happen to my grandson? Because my grandson, my husband or my son doesn't have a backup plan if something were to happen like that. Myra, they already have picked up citizens, said Flicky. Yes, they have.
oh yes, I know they have. My ex-son-in-law, who definitely looks Asian or Hispanic, either one you want to go with. He was fishing out St. Andrews State Park one time with a very white friend, and the somebody came up to them on the pier and said to Fred, "I want to see your green card." And he said, "My what?" And the guy said, "I want to see your green card." And this was like 15 years ago. And he said, the guy said, "Show me your identification." And so Fred pulls out his military ID and says, "This is the only green card I have. I'm a US citizen and a member of the armed forces. Have a good day."
Mm-hmm. I'd have gotten that person's badge number or whatever and seen if I could report them.
When children are at school and they see ICE come in and take a child, how does parents deal with that kind of thing?
Ooh, good question.
Because it is happening. So how do other children deal with that when they see that happen?
And to piggyback on that question, I'm going to say people of color, but I really want to zone in on the Black community. And I'm saying Black because not everyone with a dark skin is from Africa. So I don't want to say African American. But, and I'm not Caucasian. None of my family is from Caucasia. I am not Caucasian. I'm white Euro trash. Thank you very much. But that's the truth. But those moms and dads that have to worry about their Black sons, maybe daughters too, but mostly sons being profiled.
I'd be quiet.
It's
Flicky, you're gonna have to help me with some of these analogies you keep posting. I don't know what
Los Angeles isn't rioting for no reason.
No, she put LAUSD. What is that?
Oh, she meant USA, I think. I hope, because USD isn't that dollar.
It might mean something else. Might be Los Angeles something.
Good question. The weather team here in North Carolina says Aaron will impact us in midweek.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna be paying attention to that one because I have friends in Raleigh.
Oh, Los Angeles Unified School District.
Got
Got it.
Yeah, thank you, because I didn't know what that meant. Boy, are we learning something.
Usually I ask. I'm the one that will ask in a congregation or in a conference of 1,000 people. I'm the one that'll go up to that mic and say, "I don't know what this is," or "Can you help me understand?" Everybody else wants to know, but nobody else will admit to not knowing because they've got letters after their names.
Yeah, I'm like, what is that? Because I thought I knew most of them, but apparently not. Okay, so what else? Y'all don't have any questions you want to ask or comments you want to make about this subject? About school and parents and grandmas and grandpas and empty nesters or, whatever. Put it out there.
We really haven't touched on empty nest, but let me tell you, my children were 10 years apart. So for almost 20 years, I had somebody either in band or marching, dancing in front of band, or in wrestling or in karate or in something. I had somewhere to go on Friday nights. I had something to do other than just my life. And me tell you, that was a huge, huge change.
Okay, so Denise says this to you, sissy. She says, I have grandchildren of every racial background except Asian. Please don't refer yourself as trash.
Oh, I'm really not trash. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and as a matter of fact, I am related to royalty. Robert the Bruce, who was King of Scotland, and his brother, who was King of Ireland. Their sister is my grandmother, great, 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 yeah, like 8 or 11 great grandmothers. So I'm royalty. Plus, from my faith base, I'm a daughter of the king. So,
Raven says, I am worried my son will be picked up at a protest. We're mixed African in all of Europe, but we look Latin. Yeah, see?
oh, bless your heart. I get that.
Yeah, and then Flicky says Catholics also have dispensation from attending services until ice settles down. Then Flicky says, I'm 44 and forgot to get around to having children. It's never too late, you know, Flicky. I was trying to talk to my oldest daughter because she just turned 38 this year. I said, aren't you and Eric gonna try to at least have one more? And she's like, Mom, is it Ava enough?
Oh,
No, thank you.
And I want another grandkid.
My husband and I had 8 between us, so you know it's okay. We populated enough for you, so don't worry about it. We've got you covered.
You know what I feel the worst about though? I was just teasing her, but when I talked to Thomas, and you know, you need to talk to my son Myra. My son has given up on ever thinking about having a relationship with anyone. He told me that he doesn't care if he ever does. So when Blaze grows up and moves out of the house, he's going to be all alone. And that makes me sad.
That's today.
Yeah.
That's today. So.
And you know, it's usually when you're not looking for something that something happens.
Yeah, and I hope that
you know, when your radar is completely down, that's when things kind of come at you and just surprise the hell out of you.
You know, I tried to get him to go and join a bowl because he bowls. All of my kids bowl. That's their thing, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I told him, I said, even if you have to drive to the next town over, go join a league, please go do that. But Mom, why? I said, well, one, for bowling, but also you're getting into an atmosphere where you're with other people and you never know who you might meet inside a bowling alley. Because it's better than going to a bar. Raven says, got to go. I really enjoyed the conversation tonight. Flicky says, I have friends, but I don't want an actual relationship. The problem is my son doesn't even have friends right now. He doesn't have anyone he hangs out with. All right. Let's see here. Flicky says, I am not passing along this genetic mess. I'm just the fun aunt. Aw.
I love that. I'm not passing on this genetic
my mom
mess.
Was 40 yeah, look at there what Fern King says. She says, my mom was 40 when she had me. My dad was 51.
Wow.
I was talking to someone the other day that said her mother was in her early 50s and gave birth to a baby.
Good for her, because I would not be able to do that.
Yeah, I don't think
I am not in my 50s yet, and I'm not interested.
I wish
I'd love to have another one.
I wouldn't mind adopting another child, adopting a young baby, but my husband keeps saying, nope, we're not doing that either.
Well, I don't have pieces and parts. I couldn't have one, but
yeah, neither can I. So
I have never, not ever, not wanted to be pregnant.
Let's see. Nikolai was out today, going to the store, and he said these two young kids were come up behind him and says, "Hi, Daddy." And he turned around, he says, "I'm not your daddy." So he goes to the store, comes back out, and they called him Daddy again. It was funny. He says he don't know. Maybe they were confused and thought he looked like their daddy or something. I don't know.
How old were they?
I don't know. I forgot to ask that question because he would have to guess.
Well, haven't you seen the little story where, people act like they're chummy with somebody, and then they say, "Oh, that's my grandmother. She'll pick up the bill," and then they
I've seen that.
dine or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Zaza, and enjoy your. Oh yeah, there's a Zoom meeting. Who's the Zoom meeting? Wait, maybe that's none of my business. Sorry, I was about to ask who you had a Zoom with, but never mind. Enjoy your Zoom meeting.
I'm so proud of myself. I got 2 projects done while we were talking.
Yeah, you're just rolling along, and you know what I've been sitting here doing? I've been sitting here pressing a bunch of half square, 96 of them, in fact. I still have
Oh God, I
2
hate
more
half square
back. So
triangles.
I'm about to finish this 12, which leaves me with 24 more to go. Oh, that looks great, Tanny. She's about to get it all sewn together.
Oh, it's already sewn together.
Oh,
it's
got you.
Sure to you.
beautiful.
My girls, when little, thought older ladies were grandmas, said
Already
Fern.
sewn together.
It's a Patreon sewing group, Katie. No secret. Okay, gotcha.
There's different colors.
That's beautiful.
It looks
Thank you.
great. I love how happy it looks.
Yes,
So that's what
exactly.
everybody says. Yes.
It
I
looks
cannot take any credit for it other than sewing it up together. I did not pick out the fabrics or the pattern. It was a kit that I bought from Stephanie Stitches 100 years ago now. But so she curated the whole thing, so I can't take any credit for picking it out or anything, but I do still love it, and I did sew it up together, so I get to take credit for that.
It looks like Easter.
It does. It was a spring project box, so that's kind of where it was, that was the intent of it. But yeah, it does. Definitely has Easter colors to it. I just love it. It's very cheerful. But now I get to pick a backing fabric for it and get it quilted up.
Since all of y'all are in this chat, I forgot to mention at the beginning, when you have a chance, can y'all go watch my little vertical live I did earlier today down in Town Square? Please go watch that, like it, and make a comment, because I shared some stuff down in our city, in the city, along with at the harbor and inside the tourist shop. And I think you'll find it interesting, because it was an impromptu live I did. Let me see. What else you want to cover, Myra?
My goodness.
Have we done it all or no?
Yeah, there's nothing specific that I have to cover. As always, we want to remember that asking the question will never send someone into a suicide spin. And there's help out there, and you have resources, and you're not alone. And if no one's told you today, you matter, and I care about you, and I love you in a platonic, healthy way. Haven't met you, but it doesn't matter. I love humans. And yeah. So if you have any other questions, just ask.
Yeah, y'all ask some questions, or if you want to, remember we said that that you could talk about things too. So if someone's wanting to talk about something, please share with us and we'll talk about it. Let me see, how long have we been live now? We started.
Yeah, Katie, I was just gonna mention that I gotta take off here soon.
Now. Yeah, I know we're probably are. So, but I'm gonna wait and see if anyone has questions or if they want to make.
For sure. Yeah, I got a few minutes I can hang out.
Yeah, please ask your questions, or if you want to comment on something that you feel about, please do that with us. And I'm gonna wait a few minutes for you to answer that, and we're gonna talk about the poll up above. We already did.
We already
Yes,
did.
No.
yeah, I need
So-
close the goal.
I want to tell you what I did this week.
Sure, go ahead.
I originally had made the comment that I wasn't going to order a quilt kit until I had done some of my UFOs. But I saw one that was really cute and it was on sale. And Flick, please take a shower. No, I'm teasing with you.
Flicky says, I need to stop being lazy and take a shower.
Please do. But so I ordered a pre-cut quilt kit that includes everything but the batting. The back is there. The pattern is everything's pre-cut. And so I'm gonna see if that makes a difference. But I had a really big win today. I cut my green fabric wrong for my 8-inch border. I cut it 8 inches, but I cut it too short. So I had to go buy more 8-inch fabric, which I did. And so I cut it. I cut it into 2 strips, actually 4 strips, 8 inches. And so what I was going to do while we were sitting here today, but I haven't done any sewing, I'll do it later because I'm bound and determined that the top is going to be finished before I go home. I sewed my corner block to the bottom border on one side, and I sewed my corner block to the top border on one side. So now I just have to cut it and sew the other block and make sure I don't cut it too short.
Hey Andrea, welcome. So Fern King says it is interesting to have a little one in the shopping cart in front of you staring. I wonder what they are thinking. Then she says, on Sundays, I check in on my sisters to see how everyone is doing. And I'm going to say something to you in a minute, Myra. Sorry. Man, I'm tired today. Flicky says, I love cutting fabric almost more than piecing. I'm going to read the rest of this, but in the channel, how many of you prefer cutting fabric and how many of you prefer piecing over cutting? Let's see what you say about that.
Myra wants to say hi.
And then
so I finally caught her.
That puppy's cute. Andrea says, howdy everyone. I've been watching on TV but wanted to say howdy before you end it. And then Fern King says, they are thinking, do I know you? You look like someone I know. Laugh out loud. Myra,
Yes,
you
dear.
dropped a little bomb in my chat the other day, and I'm wondering if you bothered to go down there and have a look. Or have you forgotten the bomb you dropped in my messenger?
Are you talking about saying I didn't like something?
No. So you know what Myra does the other day, about 3 or 4 days ago, or maybe 5, I don't know how many days it's passed. She drops a little bomb and she says, hey Katie, you know what Quilted Twins has got on sale right now?
Oh.
Every daggum one of their boutiques for $6.99 a yard. And I'm like, what? So I'm wondering, you dropped that little bomb, but you didn't go down there and look?
No, we went to Disney instead. Because I'm not into boutiques.
You know, your
Where
sister.
did you get your Myra? Where did you get your kit from?
I don't know. It popped up on Facebook.
Fair. I have joined a couple of Black of the Month programs that I'm going to start in September. So I was just curious if maybe it was one that we might end up doing together.
Andrea, I'm so with you. And Flick, if you lived closer, honey, you'd be doing all my cutting. I'm just telling you, I hate it.
So you're reading all this? Okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, you were supposed to go there.
Yes, Fern, this is Ivy. Yes, Fern, this is Ivy. This is our baby, but our medium-sized dog. We have 3 dogs, and they usually show up on my channel, but this is the one that's the most food motivated. She's my baby. She's only 4 years old.
It looks to me like it's like half and half on the cutting versus the piecing. That's interesting.
But yes, this is Ivy. This is the one I'm constantly yelling at. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying she wasn't. Hey, everybody hears Nora, and I guarantee you, Nora's a lot more. Someone told me the other, or made a comment the other day in the live that said she is a beast, and then someone else says she rules because she tells you all, and she does. She'll sit here, and everybody hears it.
Yes.
Let me see here. See you later, Alex, and have a great rest of the weekend and have a great new week. And Flicky is saying hi to your puppy. And then Andrea says, those Facebook ads get you every time, talking about Myra. Do you know the name of the kid?
Flicky, she is our medium-sized dog. We have 3 dogs in height, so that's why I say medium, but she is a smaller dog. Our smallest dog is only 8 pounds. So she's only this big. So she's our medium. I can get Wrigley. Yeah, I can get the little one if you want. Wrigley!
And Myra, do you want to show it or no?
I don't know. It's on my phone. I don't know. I haven't gotten it. It's coming to my
haven't got it yet. Okay, gotcha.
It's coming to Mama's because that's where I'll be when it, during the time. So, yeah.
This is the small one.
Oh, the little one is so cute. Oh,
is she
the little one?
Is
She's
she
the little one?
Adorable. And look at the other one. She's like, Mom, pick me up too.
How come she gets more? Yeah.
Uh-oh, someone else just woke up when I said that. Robin says Nora is hysterical. And then Flicky says my smallest is 16 to 20 pounds. I guarantee you that mine.
No, this is our 200-pound dog stuck in the 8-pound body. She acts like she weighs 200 pounds, but she's only 8 pounds.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so this is Wrigley.
I would put Nora up here on the table, but she wouldn't. I don't know that she would be still, but we can try it.
Look at the camera. Really cute face. Can you
Let me move my sewing machine out of the way so she doesn't get in a fight with it.
Yeah. Katie, I can't stay much longer. I gotta make dinner for my family.
Yeah, I'm gonna show her real quick, and then we're gonna close this live. Come here,
Becky says, I have a Dane mix who's 260 pounds and an Irish Wolfhound who is 180.
Oh my goodness. Oh, he's adorable.
And he's gorgeous.
No, that's Nora.
You see her front feet? See how big her front feet is?
Wow. She got big feet.
This is the Dachshund trait for a standard Dachshund because they're actually badger dogs or some call them varmint dogs because these dogs can kill a fox by themselves.
Wow.
And she's got that predatory instinct inside. You see that tail? Watch that tail.
Robin's dogs are 45, 55, and 91 pounds.
I think Nora probably weighs around 25 pounds. Nora, can you? Yeah.
Well, I'm really proud to say my cat was almost 16 pounds and he's down to under 12 now because I rehomed his not so much buddy dog and he has no access to dog food.
Come on, up.
You see what she's doing, right? You know what she's doing, don't you? She's looking for food.
Yeah.
Hey, stay quiet and run.
Nice, Andrea. Andrea got the Villa Rosa pattern that she won on John's channel last week, and it's the next fabric she'll be cutting. Oh, Fern has a Yorkie.
That's really
cool. I will
cool.
own a Yorkie one day.
Denise says, Nora says, there's no food here. Why am I up here?
Her coat is so silky and beautiful, shiny.
Yeah. And this is a dog on a raw diet.
So healthy looking.
Yeah, no kibble. Yeah, do you see how fat she is? She's a bit chunky. She's my chunky monkey. But you see, she don't want to sit still. I know you do, Flicky. And maybe y'all can help me out here. I have a problem with her and nails. We have tried every which way we could go. We've tried peanut butter. We've tried food while Nikolai holds it and I try to clip her nails. She flips out. And I don't know what I'm thinking about calling the vet in Nuke and see if she can send some tranquilizers, you know, the little, let's calm you down a little bit and then try cutting her nails.
Doggy Prozac,
yeah, a doggy Prozac, but she will not let us I can watch. I can touch her feet. I can touch her nails with my fingers. But the minute you pick them clippers up, she's out of there. And I've wrapped her up in a towel and I end up.
Have you tried a grinder instead of a clipper?
She even won't let a Dremel touch her nails.
Okay.
And she's been like this from the minute I got her. Now, we had a vet when I first got her because the vet spayed her. And the vet would cut her nails. And I don't know how she managed to keep Nora still, but she did. But now this dog is, 6 years old and she's strong.
Mm-hmm.
Nikolai thought about taking one of those grocery bags that we use all the time and cutting 4 holes in it, 5 holes, 1 for her head, 4 for her legs, and hang her up where she can't struggle out and try it that way. I just wonder if that's not going to, she's looking at me, y'all. Y'all should see this. I just wonder if that won't cause more trauma.
I don't know. More traumatic than what you've already done, and that's what they would do at the groomer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As a tech, a lot of dogs are disasters for owner, but easy for us to do it. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
That's how mine are. Yeah, mine won't let me do them, but I take them to the groomer, and the groomer has no trouble.
The vet goes clip, clip, clip on her and Coda, and I try to do it, and they freak out. It's the strangest thing.
It's just like when kids misbehave for parents and they behave for strangers. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, so I know it needs to be done because when I hear her walking across the floor and the way she walks sometimes, I'm like,
oh, the tap dance
hurt? Because sometimes I wonder if it doesn't hurt.
Right.
The tap dance, yeah.
Yeah, no, I do notice that sometimes, like when we go out to nature, like her right front paws is a little bit shorter than the left front because of me taking her out on the rocks and stuff. Sometimes she'll come back ground down a little bit, and and it possibly that she could grind them down a lot. She says we side lay them, hold the bottom paws, and done. Yeah, I tried everything. When she starts rolling around and carrying on and starts panting, it's like.
Well, Katie, I need to take off. I got to start dinner for my family. It's about 5:30 our time here, so.
Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. We will see you again in about a month. And thank you again for being here and not running away from our subject. I will say this. On our next live, give it some thought over the next month. And if you think of something that we haven't so far covered that you would like to talk about, either send me an email or when you come into the next live, mention it to us so we can put it on our topics. I don't know what our next topic will be yet, but we will have one. Me and Myra and Danny will come at one. Because this is going to be ongoing for a little while because it's coming out really great. So again, thank you for coming. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Myra. I really appreciate the both of you. Remember to live, laugh, love, and dream. She's saying goodbye. Love you guys. Thank you. Love you, Myra. Love you, Danny.
Love you.
Good night, everyone. All right, let's stop the live.
Excuse me.
Laura. Well, I started because I put it up on the desk. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to go make dinner in a minute.